A warm welcome to you. Bright and a little bit breezy day today out on the roads, and the man you're following at the moment just happens to be called Cadel Evans. Hot on the time trial in the opening stage of this year's Dauphiné Liberé. Well, it's a bigger time trial today, kind of a full-length one, if you like, mimicking the Tour de France. It's a big loop from Bourg de la Valence into Valence itself, with the Category 4 climb slap bang in the middle of it. I can tell you that Evans was only 9th at the first intermediate today. There are other, well, like Alberto Contador, cyclist on course at the moment, and 6th at the first intermediate he was. So 3 places ahead of Cadel Evans' time at the moment, but significantly around about 21 seconds down, I have to tell you, on the man who has completely bossed the course today. And we expected him to do exactly that. He's world champion in the time trial. That's Bert Grapsch of Germany. He is, of course, the leader of Team Columbia High Road, and he went out there, David, today and absolutely blew them away.
I think we're like David Miller coming in right now at the moment, who in the World Championships this year finished in 10th spot, by the way. He's been riding very well. And what David got to do with Bert Grapsch? He's in 2nd spot. And wow, great timing.
Well, terrific. God, you could join us. 39 seconds only the gap. Now, I say only because Bert Grapsch's time looked so dominant. 2nd place for a long time was a minute and a half down. Well, David Miller is proving yet again that he is still a force to be reckoned with. And the Garmin Slipstream leader coming home, as you saw, and he is in 2nd place just for now. I like that.
I do too. By the way, also with Cadel Evans, because the early time checks we got, the first of those time checks, which after just some 12 kilometres, he was down, as you say, what, 8th, 9th place. Here he is on our screen right now. And the 2nd time check, he'd moved up into the lead. And look at the gap opening up right now then. And Evans is really putting the hammer down. It's a bit of a climb, by the way, 4th category climb. And over the top then, it's all downhill to finish.
Well, you know what? 29 minutes and 48 at the 2nd intermediate split, and Cadel Evans is in the lead. He has just taken the lead. We're listening into race radio. What a tremendous effort by Evans. He is on a mission here. That is tremendous stuff. He lost the yellow jersey yesterday, don't forget, which is why he's wearing green today, a shirt he was also holding, if you like. Nicky Terpstra yesterday, who is last on the road today, was the man who snatched that leader's jersey yesterday, one of the 5 escapees, Terpstra from Milram, and did a very, very good job indeed, along with the likes of Yuri Trofimov, who was just edged out yesterday. It was a real brutal finish, you've got to say, particularly for anyone who didn't win it. They were all in with a chance right at the end, those 5 escapees, and they did a great job. Terpstra, though, that group finishing well clear of the main bunch, and as a result, he had, in fact, a minute and a half clear, 1 minute and 32 clear they were. So Terpstra vaulted up to wear the leader's jersey. You'll see him in yellow in just a wee while, David.
Yes, the big thing was, of course, when those guys went away, they've now changed the overall situation, because after the early part of this race, for the open-up prologue time trial, we had, some nearly 40 riders within 1 minute of each other. And sometimes, obviously, time trialing is a bit like watching paint dry, but because, except for the top guys who got away yesterday, we've still got that short gap between those top 35 riders or so, with a minute separating them. And this is the day when they want to, I think, begin to sort of say, here I am, I'm going to do something about it, because tomorrow we've got that big climb up the Valence. We've got a lot of lumpy days ahead of us as well, and I think the time trials are now saying we'll show that we've still got a chance here of showing ourselves in there, because it's the last time trial in the race this time round. We've had that opening one, and that is why they say this is a mini Tour de France without the 3 weeks of doing the dirty washing for you guys travelling with it. But certainly it is a great race. We're going some of the greatest climbs yet to come, and we've got the time trial, which is just, to me, the right sort of distance. I keep mixing it with the guy who's out there in the lead at the moment.
Cadel Evans is in the lead of this. He started the day in 5th place, 1 minute and 1 second down on the day's start. The man who starts with the yellow jersey today, Nicky Terpstra. But as you can see, we're expecting Cadel Evans to vault straight back up to the top, just ahead of the mountains, which we know he likes. Alberto Contador as well will also be in the frame, along with Lando Lutze, Valverde, Rosler, Nibali, Rabon, and the rest, all the way down to Nico Roche in 41st position. They realistically are all within a minute of the top 4 of 5 who came home yesterday. So we'll watch Gitteris coming in now. This is a good effort by him. 17th, 18th place. Yes, indeed. Holds on to that. 2 minutes and 18, though, is his deficit on Grapsch. That really was a monster time, but as we said, Cadel Evans is eating into it right now as we just check out Nibali, 10th on the day, a minute 35 down. We'll get some splits on him for you. We'll take a break and we'll be back in a moment. Welcome back. It's the big time trial day on the Dauphiné Liberé. We started off, of course, with the prologue short time trial. This is a biggie. It's a proper 42.4 kilometres, and Cadel Evans, he's a man who knows how to pace himself, crucially, on a time trial in the build-up to the hill. He is, well, very special indeed. At the top of the only mountain of the day, the Col de Martinet, he is in the lead. Now, don't forget that he had a 1 minute deficit on the great man himself, Bert Grapsch, the world time trial champion, at the first intermediate split. So we'll see how he comes off the hill and drives it home. Now, the thing that Grapsch had is a huge powerhouse. The man's thighs looks like a track cyclist par excellence and nothing else. He knows how to drive one home, and he will be doing exactly that. Just looking at Rabon at the moment, 11th. At the start of the day, and as you can see, a 1 minute and 35 down, same time as Nibali, who's also on course at the moment. We're going to get some fascinating finishing times, you can be sure of that. And here is the line, and this rather tired looking specimen is Mr. Nice, and down in 12th place. That's not bad, top dozen for Christian Nice of Milram. They've had a little bit of success, Milram, in this tour, and they'll be reasonably pleased about that. Here is Rabon, who was passed by Nice on the road, having started after him, and Franisek, Rabon and Vaugrenard coming across the line right now, 56.02. And it really finds you out there. Look at that, my goodness, 40 seconds, and he's gone third, just behind David Miller. Well, that is a surprise, David. I'm surprised about that.
Yeah, but more fish to fry yet to come. And by the way, if you're looking at Contador out here, I wouldn't say that time trial, you can see at 1 minute 9 seconds, he's exactly his cup of tea. And so he's going to do the best he can to try and stay within the frame and be ready for the mountains yet to come. But you can't sort of just coast around there and just go for an easy ride. You have to try very hard indeed. I'm pretty sure what we're seeing out with Cadel Evans, as we got him here now on the screen. By the way, he's in the green jersey because he's lying second on the points competition. Terpstra's got the yellow jersey, therefore he can't take both the yellow and the green jersey. So that's why we're watching the green jersey here with Evans. And look at this time trial stuff.
Exactly, yeah. Unbelievable. I was just about to say, he's in a near perfect position here. And look at the head, which normally rolls in the mountains, absolutely rock solid and stuck to him. He's fighting that roll. Well, we're just hearing that Nicky Terpstra has changed his bike on the road. That's a nightmare for him, and a real shame, to be honest. He did some great work yesterday. He's had to change his bike on the road. So Terpstra, well, you can see a virtual position here, 1 minute and 4. It's going to be worse than that now. He's had to stop, pull over, but Evans is bossing the course. Unbelievable here.
Yeah, he did the work yesterday, Terpstra. We wouldn't expect him to be in that breakaway. How long, you remember how long he was out with that group with those 5
from
riders.
30 kilometres right to the end.
He spent a long time out there, didn't he? And he's a big guy. He should have been a good time trial if he'd been waiting for this, but conversely he did what he had to do yesterday, and he got very tired legs. He's done the duty. He's now in the yellow jersey. He's got all the accolades. He's got the few bob in the bank, but now you see, look at the style of this man. This is a time trial par excellence. And the interesting thing is, whilst Contador is riding as comfortably can do, he's just not the world's best time trial. Evans over the years has always been able to produce something out of the bag when it comes to time.
Look at him, how naturally he sits there. He's tucked in every department. Even his knees are tucked in here. And look how Contador's just waving all over the place here. I know he's just was he just taking a bite there? I don't know, to be honest. But certainly looking a little bit more ragged. About smoothness, that is what it's all about. And Cadel Evans is the master of it, David.
Valverde, 1 minute 24 seconds down here at the moment. Again, Valverde last year in this race, he actually won the time trial. That reinforced his position over overall in the race when he went on to win it. And it was the time trial last year, which was over a similar distance, what, 41 kilometres, that he put Cadel Evans back into third spot at 20 seconds. That was up to stage 3. So somehow the Valverde hasn't got the bit between his teeth this time round. I think this is useful. If he stays in contention, he's in the top 10, I reckon this guy's going to start performing in the mountain, particularly maybe tomorrow up to Valence.
Well, 10th place is going to stick with him. A minute and 45 is his deficit just for the time being. He is a bit of a mountain goat, and the Ventoux may well suit him. And in fact, it's climbs all the way home now. Some serious ones to come up for you later on this week on the Dauphiné. Now, Contador, incidentally, was third at the second intermediate split, 27 seconds behind Evans. And just behind Bert Grapsch at that point. Evans had 30 seconds or so. Managed to eat in, did a great job, Evans. So it's Evans, followed by Grapsch, who's already finished, followed by Contador at the second split. That's the crucial one. It's the last time you're going to get before they bring it home. So it's how you come into town that counts now. So there it is. Second chrono for you. Bert Grapsch, 12 seconds the deficit. Contador confirmation, 27 seconds. Rabon, 34 seconds adrift. Clement, Rosler, and all of those names, don't forget, sub 50 seconds off Cadel Evans's split at that point. But significantly, Bert Grapsch, 12 seconds in arrears. Now, the point is, Bert Grapsch really can power it home, David, particularly on the flatter stuff. Where Evans was always going to be king was going up that climb. It's what he's got now on the run home.
Yes, but certainly just bear in mind tomorrow the Ventoux is to Grapsch will be trying to stay inside the time limit. I'm not exaggerating. He's a big chunky guy, especially time trial. Rosler's going to go a good time here, but tomorrow it's a different kettle of fish, as they say.
Yeah, the kind of physique that Rosler's got here, which is like a tank, won't go up the hills, but 6th place so far. Minute 19 down off Grapsch as we stand. They've been busy out there, and it's still very, very busy. As you can see, working his little heart out right here, right now. It's Alberto Contador, and a minute 9 down, currently in 7th place, but well, he'll be higher up than that, I should imagine, by the end of today. He's going to have to do something a bit more special. He's third at the second intermediate, as we've already said, 27 seconds, but this is not suiting him this day, not as much anyway as the great man Bert Grapsch and Cadel Evans, we think. I've seen Cadel Evans blow, though, when it comes to the end of one of these longer time trials, David. He did it in the big one on the Tour de France, which was a bit of a heartbreaker, to be honest. I think that's where he kind of saw it all going away from him.
I don't see it this time around. I spoke to his team manager, Arnaud Guidant, yesterday. 1K to go, by the way, here for Valverde, and he said how much more relaxed he was. He hadn't raced as much as he did in the past. He's come into this race. He'd been out there training in Spain. And I think somehow, again, he doesn't have a lot of team round about him. I mean, he's lost 2 teammates already because Manuel didn't start with the flu, and Stellings went out yesterday. But now on the time trial, he looked relaxed out there. He didn't bust a gut going towards that first climb. He settled in there. And whilst Valverde is looking quite comfortable here, I think Valverde also has probably said enough is enough. I'm not going to do too much in this time trial. I'll keep my powder dry for tomorrow and the next day, because they all know this is one of the lumpiest and hardest of the Dauphinés I've been involved with over these years. And so I think probably some of these guys are saying, well, provided I can stay within reasonable distance, we might give him a bit of a thrashing later on. So it's going to be fascinating for everybody. So yes, I'll watch the racing on Eurosport. I'll set my video recorder and pick it up from then on in, because here Valverde is certainly, by look at it, going to be inside the top 10. That could still keep in the show. I don't think
by the day's end, though, David, we will see. It's going to be, what, 12th place, that kind of thing. He holds on to 10th place, though. 1:38.29 down. It's a bit of a deficit, you've got to say. Grapsch's time, don't forget, is likely to be beaten by Cadel Evans, which means it puts him nearly a minute and a half down on Evans as they head for the mountains, somewhere that Evans is more than familiar with. It does get very, very lumpy, the Dauphiné, don't forget. We've got some amazing hors category climbs. Mont Ventoux is one of them. That's going to be an absolute perler, you can be sure of that. Don't forget, we've got the Col d'Izoire as well on the way to Briançon. Careful how you pronounce announced that. I've tripped up on that on a number of occasions. And of course,
I won't tell the viewers.
Saint-Francois Longchamp as well, category 1 with an all-category Galibier and the Croix de Fer to cope with. And then on the final day, as if it wasn't bad enough, the Col de Saint-Bernard de Touvaré as well on the way to Grenoble. It is going to be a nightmare. We know that. So this is, if you think this is tough, just wait for the next few days. Here is Contador, super job, second place, and look at this, 52 into fourth place. It's going to be fifth or sixth, is it? Whoa, will he hold on? And he does, fourth place, 45 seconds, just shy of that, 44.49 is his deficit. So Graps still holds on, but we know that Evans is coming, and that's the big one. We'll have Landaluce over next, and then it'll be Cadel Evans if he hasn't. Landaluce has not been caught. Contador then has crossed the line, and a decent time here, David.
They started 2-minute intervals, by the way, those you're watching for the first time on time trialing. Landaluce 2 minutes after Evans, and then that Evans was there for 4 minutes starting after Contador and so on. So here's Evans right now on the road. And by the way, I was fascinated by the bike being ridden there by Contador. It looked like a sort of bicycle zebra, the black and white stripes. I try and keep up with all the modern technology, and I have no idea why it looked like a black and white zebra. I hope, dear viewer, all three of you, I'll try and find out why it was like that. I should know, but I don't know. Sorry about that.
You know, some of the riders out there, just as an aside, they have their numbers that they just feel good about wearing. Obviously, if you're a team leader, you're going to have a 1. But number 11, I haven't. It's couple right. I'm just racking my brain trying to think who it was. Who just said, always felt very, very safe when he had number 11 on his backside. Oh, well, that's all about. But there you go, legs 11. Maybe it's got something to do with that. Here we go. Cadel Evans on the drive in for home right now. Absolutely smooth as silk. Watch the point of the rear of his helmet. It barely moves from the centre of his back. Absolutely brilliant. He's ironing out all the roll here. He's presenting a uniform face to the wind out front. His knees are coming in exactly where they need to be. Just pushes himself back on his saddle to take that speed bump, which, to be honest, I don't know just how much I agree with them, to be honest. They can catch them out, especially if you've got a bunch of it. None of that today. It's time trial time, and this is Evans, we think, bringing it in. We will see.
The other thing, of course, is when you look at the smoothness of some of these riders, all right, not here going around the twists and turns, is that he's able to push a slightly bigger gear maybe than Contador. Contador rides slightly lower gears, and whilst Contador was rocking a bit on the bike, Evans is very smooth. He's got look at his on the outside sprocket here. I'm not sure whether he's on Shimano or Campagnola. Campagnola now have got 11 sprockets on the back here, and he's pushing. Look, he's on the on the chain. He's on the right hand, the far side. He's out there. He must be on what about 54 at the top at least, maybe 11. It's an enormous gear he's pushing, and look, he's just whizzing. I know it's downhill, but he makes it look so easy. He's travelling at something like about, in English money, at about 32, 33 miles an hour.
Last few hundred metres coming up right now. This is it for Cadel Evans. What's he got in the box remaining here as he pushes for home? Bert Grapsh's time is the target time, don't forget. It's going to be very, very close. It's going to be at least second place, but we think he's nailed it. Here he comes then, and the crowd will start roaring as they get sight of the great man himself. Runner-up on the Tour de France needs to take that extra step up the podium. Will he do it this year? There's been a number who've taken this race and gone on for victory. And here comes Cadel Evans, finish line ahead. He's out of the saddle right now. All of a sudden, look at this, 51.26. Oh my goodness, is he going to get it? 4 seconds, 2 seconds. Oh my life, he's second place. It's just edged away from him right now. But this is a very good time by Cadel Evans and puts him right back in it here. 7 seconds only is his deficit on Bert Grapsh, who's a time trial specialist, and suddenly Evans has opened the box here and says, hey, look what's inside. Plenty left for the mountains.
And the big difference is back from him to second place overall, which I think was David Miller before that, and so on. As we go back through on the general classification, the people that are in there going for the overall classification are good, a minute and a half down on him. Going back to the yellow jersey here, now it's interesting, he's riding an ordinary road bike. He knows that it's not exactly his day, not exactly his cup of tea. He's going to ride round here, Terpstra. He's done what he has to do so far. He's got the yellow jersey, and I'm very pleased, by the way, for his sponsors, because they've had a pretty horrific year last year. In fact, they nearly took out the sponsor, but it's going to cost so much money to cancel it. They stayed with it, and so they've got a good day yesterday. They've got the man in yellow today. He's doing what he's doing. He's going to ride his road bike here as best he can do in his yellow jersey. He's going to come in, and good luck to what he did did yesterday.
Absolutely. It's actually not the bike he started with, however. We think that his time trial bike was actually put on the roof of the car, had some kind of technical issue, and has had to swap it for a standard road bike, and that's why he's plying his trade on that machine. He had his issues with the bike he'd been provided with at the start. It's had to be changed. They didn't have a spare time trialer, and as a result, that's why it looked pretty ordinary.
Well, actually, so they haven't bothered about it. Also haven't bothered about it because they could have had two. If you were going for the top overall result, yes, you had two time trial bikes. You had the time trial bike which suited the rider and a spare to suit him and everything else. And they've just gone through this. Also, they've gone through the motions because they've got to justify the eligibility. And out there, he's enjoying himself right now. And chapeau, as they say in not in France. That's not in France, but not in Holland.
Here comes one of the escapees from yesterday, Lanaluzzi. He was one of the main features. Started off the sprint yesterday. He was part of the escape group of 5, 76 home today, and a 4 minutes and 7 second deficit on Bert Grapsch, whose time remains. Well, we said Bert had the powerhouse. He's basically got the guns, the legs to bring it in on the flat. Evans just couldn't quite get back at him, despite the fact that he was so clear of 27 seconds, I think it was, 12 seconds clear, I beg your pardon, at the second intermediate of Grapsch. Those times kind of even themselves out. Terpstra coming home now. We already said that.
Yeah.
Good.
You did.
Thanks, guys. Good to know. So I wasn't wrong.
Otherwise somebody would complain.
Welcome back. Cadel Evans. 37 seconds is his advantage at the top of the general classification over Alberto Contador. Of course, Bert Grapsch started way down the order. We'll get confirmation on that for you in a moment, but look at this. This is the way you power it in, David, if you're looking to make waves. That was Bert Grapsch setting the benchmark time today. Cadel Evans charged him down on the day, beaten by 7 seconds, but you know what? He goes back into yellow, and it suits him.
It does, no doubt about it. And Britain's David Miller did a wonderful ride today. When we came on air, we just about caught him in full flight, but a great time trial, as he said. He finished, what, 10th on the first opening day in the time trial there. He's not out of the contentions at all. As far as this race is concerned, I think he's done his job, and let's see what is going to happen in the Tour de France, because this guy is still firing on all cylinders.
Super work. Still the leader at the start of the day coming in. He certainly won't be there by the end. Mechanical problems with his time trial bike, unfortunately for him. One of the other escapees coming in for you now from yesterday, Ludovic Turpin. Yes, 5th in the Grand Prix a couple of years ago. He won the Circuit de Mines as well, the Mines circuit. But you know what? 87th place, 4.5 minutes, 4 minutes and 24 down. Tongue pops out. I think he left his legs behind yesterday, to be honest. That was a great effort by all of those 5 escapees yesterday. But coming into the time trial, it was going to be a tall order.
The big thing, of course, that a lot of people don't recognise outside France is the way in which the public follow the sport. And we're looking here at the situation on general classification. But
no, this is just today.
Just today, sorry. But sorry, I was talking to you, not looking on the screen. But no doubt about the way in which the people follow the sport up there. The newspapers, called the Dauphiné, Liberé, is a very famous newspaper in this part of France, and so they'll be reading it every day in the morning. They'll be going through all the paperwork. No doubt about that's why they're on the side of the road, and they're respecting what those riders did yesterday. Even if today they're not going to be up on the screen we've just seen here in the top places.
Well, you saw there Contador 37 seconds behind Cadel Evans. Once those times have spun out, he'll be 37 seconds behind him in the general classification, heading off to the mountains. It does suddenly, the road, go rather uphill from tomorrow onwards. It's going to be an absolutely fascinating day as we head to Mont Ventoux, don't forget. So yet another of yesterday's escapees, Mr. Trofimov, who both David and I thought was going to take it on the line.
got a bit squashed, didn't he? He wrong place at the wrong time.
Squozen out. I think Ludovic Turpin was the man he blamed later on, but wrong place in the run-in. It's your own fault when there's only 5 of you. 70th today, 3 minutes and 55 down, and as a result, we've just got Remy Puriol and Niki Terpstra to come in. Puriol, I think it was from Cofidis, who did such a good job yesterday, taking the Mountains jersey, absolutely wrestling that one down the hill, you've got to say, and up it, won all 4 of the climbs. This is our leader, though, on a standard road bike. He had a technical issue with his time trial machine, and unfortunately for him, had to hand it over, but he's still out on the road here.
I'm interested on this bike. If you look at the front and back hubs there on this Focus bike here, they're great big large ones. I wish we'd gone a bit closer. I'm not in touch with exactly what some technical guy told me what they are. They're not your normal sort of hubs by any means. They look outside for some reason, or perhaps it's just the way the camera's distorting them. But he's on his road bike, but I'm not quite sure whether this is his normal road bike in race line or it's spare road bike. So perhaps we may get a closer look at this Focus bicycle, which I think is made in Germany right now. So it's a fascinating setup down there, and perhaps we might get down to this riding with Milram, which is a German milk team, and Terpstra coming from Holland. It's a real mixture. In fact, part of the Gerolsteiner team, when they collapsed, came into the Milram team as well. So it's been a mix and match between the Dutch riders and the German riders with the German bicycle, because virtually at one point it looked like Milram was going to pack up and go home, and we'd have virtually no German team, and therefore I'm sure yesterday's success would have got them back, because they had all the problems, in inverted commas, with the drug problems, this, that and the other. A lot of the top teams out of Germany faded away and decided not to stay with the sport, but now I think Milram have stuck with it. Must be pleased with what they've had so far. And this rider yesterday, he really got stuck in, didn't he?
He did. It was a great effort, to be honest. And here it comes, the king of the mountains, Remy Puriol. Won all 4 of the category 4 climbs yesterday, and as a result just picked up enough points to actually nail that jersey to his back. At the moment, I doubt, however, but here's me doubting. To be honest, he may well surprise us all over the next couple of days, but I think there are much bigger climbers out there. Who's the best climber out of the 5 escapees yesterday, and worthy he is a wearer of that jersey, but I don't think he's going to hold on to it at the end, Dave.
I don't know what happened. There was a 4 kilometre category 4 climb today. We haven't got the time up there to see where he was, but I suggest he may have got a few points on that particular climb. And the way he's riding now, he's still looking pretty stuck in. But is he going to try and do a decent ride in the time trial today, bearing in mind his position on general classification? Oh no, he's way out the frame.
Exactly,
at the moment.
David. I was just about to break your heart there and tell you that it was Cadel Evans that was at the second time point was actually at the top of the climb. So Cadel Evans really bossed that one. Yes.
So is he going to go for the I mean, for the category 4 today wasn't worth much. I mean, tomorrow when they got that climb, the Valence 2,
4 minutes 53 down.
Yeah, but the Valence 2 tomorrow, it's a Hope category climb. In fact, we've got 1, 2, 3, at least 4 Hope category climbs yet to go, with lots of points out there.
David,
so
I think he only took those climbs yesterday courtesy of the fact that he was amongst 5 guys who'd escaped, not because he was a climber. But we will see. We could be proven completely wrong. We don't want to write the guy off.
Not the first time, will it?
No, it won't. But somehow I don't think he's going to be featuring. But nonetheless, when the climbs do come, let's just do a bit of tidy up here. General classification. This is overall. This is not today. This is overall. Cadel Evans have finished second today. Alberto Contador 45 seconds down. Now, doing my little maths, I had 37 seconds. So I'm not sure where those timings have gone awry, but you'll have to forgive us. Bert Grapsch, if these are official, is there 48 seconds now behind. That's only 3 seconds adrift of Contador, but you fancy that Grapsch possibly won't go up the mountains.
He won't. He gets blasted out, by the way. And the interesting thing is, with Dave Miller's moved up, he's in 5th spot there. He was 10th, I think, as at the first opening time trial. He dropped back 3 places yesterday when they had the escapees go away. But I'm wearing my Union Jack underpants here. Do bear with us, the rest of you listening to our coverage elsewhere outside Great Britain. But no doubt about it, he's riding a jolly good race. Now this fellow's got 1 kilometre to go, and as he comes towards the finish, I'm sure he's going to get a round of applause, because the public love a guy who gets stuck in, and my goodness, he got stuck in yesterday, didn't he?
He did, and to be fair, he's not given up here either. He's riding this as if he is wearing the yellow jersey, and that's what we like to see. A man who's defending the honour of the yellow here. He's riding it in properly, despite the fact that it's not his first choice of bike. That one, unfortunately, is on top of the car. That's some way behind him. him because he had a technical issue with his time trial machine, and as a result he's got a more normal looking road bike, albeit with some rather unusual hubs. We assume that it's the best of a bad job, really. That's probably what that breadth is about, David. Yeah. That they tried their best to give him something that will be slightly more competitive.
I'm surprised they didn't put him though with a road bike with those handlebars on, which you can put on a road bike to make it a time trial bike. No, I don't know why they didn't do it.
Mid-course, they clearly weren't ready for it, and decided that they may as well just hand over this machine, because the amount of time they were going to lose in swapping the tops would have eaten into it. 112th, 115th, 120th, your guess is as good as ours. 1:14, 5 minutes and 26 down, and gets a little air horn to welcome him home. Not a great roar of applause, but a ripple, certainly, and well, a little doff of the old chapeau for him, because with his troubles today, he still managed a half-decent performance.
Yeah, because 45 kilometres an hour, 5 6s are 30, and 6 4s are 24. That's about 27 kilometres an hour.
So here we are. This is how the day finished. Bert Grapsch taking the day. That's the big time trial. We expected it. He's the world time trial champion, absolutely. Cadel Evans at 37 seconds. David Miller finishing in third place, 39 seconds off the pace, with Rabon Contador significantly, who goes into second place in the GC, with Steph Clement and the remainder there for you. It means that yellow jersey is going to be on the back of Cadel Evans tomorrow, and as we go into the mountains, that is a worthy place for it to be.
Correct my sums, by the way. It wasn't kilometres per hour, 27 miles per hour worked out very quickly off the back of my hat, but that just shows you the performance, how fast these guys went, hey?
Here is the day's winner, Bert Grapsch. Totally dominant performance. Yes, he may have been a little bit slow in the second intermediate split up the hill. We know he doesn't like the hills, but he knew how to power it home, and he did so. It was a huge benchmark time for a man who'd come so early. Then Cadel Evans it was that into that time. He led it for a while, trailed by 7 seconds on the day, but he will be in yellow tomorrow as we head for the mountains. And David Miller, what a great day he had today. Third home, and significantly keeps himself well and truly in a solid sort of top 6 position. Is he 6th or 5th? I've just lost my GC.
He was 5th, actually. Yeah.
Tremendous. Well, let's just hope that David Miller can do some more good work. Almost took a stage 2 the other day. Just got caught on the line, sort of timed his escape, if you like, his burst for the front, and their confirmation of it. David Miller is indeed in 5th place, ahead of Stéphane Clement, but it is Cadel Evans on top. 45 seconds, it's been confirmed to us, is the gap now between Alberto Contador and Bert Grapsch, with Francisek Rabon nearest to him, followed by good old Dave Miller. Beautiful scenery around here. They won't have time to even look over their shoulder tomorrow, because they are going to be punching as the road goes up to the sky.
Well, this is the part here in this part of the world where Napoleon Bonaparte arrived as a 16-year-old military cadet to improve his knowledge of warfare. So the battle will be commenced tomorrow, won't it?
Absolutely. Napoleon blown apart.
Yes, that's his part of the world.
And maybe that's his old shack. We do not know. There is the how it finished today, with Bert Grapsch as top dog. Who it will be tomorrow, we shall wait and see. I've got a sneaky suspicion that Cadel Evans and his continuing great form will be something special. Here he was starting off today, and it was a very, very good start. Went through the first split around about 20 seconds down, but by the time he got to the second intermediate at the top of the climb, the only climb of the day, he was the man in the lead and suddenly became the target man. Well, Bert Grapsch had really powered home earlier on along the flat. Evans couldn't quite get back that time, or at least hold the advantage, should I say, in the run for home, but did enough to take the yellow jersey, and indeed trailed on the day by only 7 seconds. And when it is the world time trial champion who is the only man who can beat you, that bodes very well, not only for Cadel Evans here at the Dauphiné, but for Cadel Evans in the Tour itself.
I would also be concerned if I was Valverde. I think Contador might start to come good in the climbs later on, but Valverde at the moment doesn't seem to be firing all cylinders. The time trial today, he won the time trial last year. He should have been in with a shout today, but I don't think somehow he was firing all cylinders. Now, can he survive the big mountain tomorrow? Contador, I think, can get up there. He will come good, once the mountain climbers will come good, but I think the man will be disappointed today will be Valverde and what he did. Anyway, no doubt about it, I should think that one or two of the guys looking out to Cadavia, in fact, I'm trying to track down his team manager, because it's a lovely part of all the Tandalama yards in the vineyards. I'm sure that there will be some celebrations amongst his team, as here we get yet again a brilliant performance of the rise. Getting we're seeing the flowers, aren't we? We normally disappear before they all happen.
Well, thank heavens as well. There it is, the man who did the business today. But perhaps, excuse me for clearing my throat on there, I do apologise. The German doing a terrific job. He really is a powerhouse. Looks more diminutive than you might think, but he is really SpongeBob, I have to say. A square human being with all that power from the which proved to be just so useful today when it comes particularly to the flat stuff. Whether he's going to be able to hop up any mountains tomorrow, there he is in his full World Championship livery. He decided to collect the flowers wearing his Team Columbia High Road.
Fascinating team, by the way, because Alan Piper is the team manager. Many of the British people know him very well indeed. The years he's been racing, good ride in the years gone by. They're a right mixture. They've got not only him from Germany, they've got Barry from Canada, Hansen from Australia, and Poisson from the USA, Italian rider Rabon, and Czech rider another German as well. It's a right mixture back, that is. So there we are. We've actually seen him now in his Columbia High Road jersey.
And Cadel Evans gets royally welcomed to the podium here, where he's going to find himself in yellow in just a few moments' time. Hats off. And hats off as well to the amazing machinery they've got here, which prints up a brand new jersey here with the team's livery upon it. As you can see, it's not stuck on like the old days. This is actually a brand new printed jersey just for him, and it's just come off at the back. And I think on the Tour de France as well, they actually put their name down the side of their rib cage. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, especially around the back. The old days, quite right, it used to be a sticker which was then ironed on. There was actually a sticker which was ironed on, but if they didn't iron it on properly, it would peel up if they weren't careful. Because I come by the day, but they actually stuck it on with safety pins.
I've seen that before.
Yes, that goes back a bit. So well done then, Cadel, nice guy, and like I said, a good time trials over the years. He's won a number of time trials in various stage races in the past, and I won't say it was a surprise, but the gap I think he got at the end, and particularly how he came at this guy, was worth watching on TV, because certainly time trials, he was junior third in the World Championship was time trial, but this man here has been a world champion, so he did well today.
Valence to Le Mans Ventoux, 4 p.m. live Central European time. That's 3 in the afternoon in the United Kingdom. It's going to be one heck of a day, and we reckon this man who's gone from green to gold yet again will be the one to watch. Tune in and find out from Econ Kirby and David Duffield. It's